Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you are all here. Having a little bit of some internet data issues out where I am at. So I'm hoping to see people are popping on. Yes, there are people popping on. Yay. So that means we are connected and we are live. I'm not sure if you've seen the news, but here in Texas where I'm at, we've had some big cell phone tower, something go down, and it's knocked out phone service and internet service, and it's been kind of sketchy the last couple of days, and so apparently it's supposed to be fixed sometime today. So I'm just happy that we're here and we're live. Hopefully we will make it through the hour and all will be good. I feel like I haven't been online in a while. It's been a very busy last couple of months between trying to operate my own schools during this little situation that we're in right now, kind of in the post-pandemic world, dealing with staffing issues, all of that kind of good stuff. But of course, conference season has also kicked back up, and I've attended 2 different conferences that were live and in person. Worked 2 different conferences, and they both were successful. So that's really encouraging and exciting. But we're kind of getting back to the real world a little bit. I decided to go ahead and do this webinar last minute today. Because there are a lot of questions that are being thrown around out there about some of the child care relief funding, about the child tax credits. Of course, a lot of you are dealing with staffing situations in your area. Sorry, I have a friend flying around me. And every day I'm getting 2 or 3 emails specifically about the child care relief fund. So I thought, let's go ahead and break the ice and do a webinar, and let's get everybody on the same page. So that is the purpose behind this current events video that we're going to be doing today, is to hopefully give you some guidance and some coaching on what we need to be doing with some of this money that is being offered to us. I actually had a conversation with a very reliable source last week that had told me that only 20% of the licensed child care facilities in the state of Texas have applied for the child care relief funding. 20%. What are the other 80% of you waiting on? It's kind of blowing my mind. And at first, I would think that this is an exaggerated report, their information. And so that was very alarming. So I really, started talking to some people on why aren't you applying for this funding? What is the holdup? Do people even know about it? I feel like we've had information really thrown at us from different directions. So, what is the holdup? And then like I said, 2 or 3 emails a day I've been getting from folks asking questions about it. So before we get started on this conversation, we got to make a couple of disclaimers here, okay? First off, any specific questions or coaching that you need on the child care relief funding needs to be done through the Texas Workforce coaches, all right? I am here to give you some guidance and some advice, but I am not the expert, all right? So if you do have some very specific questions, contact the coaches at Texas Workforce Commission. I have reached out to them multiple times for different questions and guidance. They have been very helpful. They have been very quick to respond, very clear direction. I'm actually really impressed with them, all right? So reach out to those coaches if you have anything very specific. The other thing is I'm not an accountant, okay? I'm not a CPA. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an attorney. So once again, when we talk about some of the very specific financial stuff, you're going to want to reach out to your CPA, all right? And they're going to be able to give you some good guidance on that part of it, all right? Now, I just jumped on in here, didn't I? I just assume all of you have participated in one of our webinars before. If this is your very first time, welcome. We are so glad that you're here. All right. Carly, I'm going to get to your question. I don't understand why you would be told that, but we'll get to that. And I don't know who told you that, but you might want to check your source. So anyways, if this is your first time here, welcome. You can watch the live webinar. It doesn't cost anything to watch this webinar. You're here, yay. If you need a certificate of completion for participating in today's webinar, there is a worksheet that's on Facebook. I made a boo-boo. Oops, I made a mistake, and I posted it at 9:30 instead of 10:30, so it's already there. But after the webinar, you can complete that worksheet for $5. I will send you a certificate of completion, all right? So that's how it works, super easy. And Carly, there's a lot of misinformation going on being spread around out there. And so that's another reason why I wanted to have this webinar today, so that we're all on the same page. Check your sources wisely. All right, so there's three things that I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about the child care relief funding. I wanted to talk about child tax credits, and I want to talk about staffing. And I'm going to layer this because we're going to go up the stairs, all right? And we're going to come to a conclusion at the end of this webinar based on these three topics. That's kind of what I've got on my agenda. All right, so the child care relief funding, this was part of the last Coronavirus Relief Act bill that was passed up in Washington. There was a very large amount of money that was earmarked specifically for licensed child care facilities. The federal government then distributed the money down to each of the states. All right, now number one, we are very blessed here in the state of Texas that Texas Workforce Commission jumped on this. They came up with a plan pretty quickly, and they got this rolled out, all right? I just spent 2 weeks in Florida at 2 different conferences working with people from all over the country. Most states out there have not even come up with a plan yet on how to distribute this money. Texas is on top of it, all right? So we're very, very blessed with that being said. All right. So basically, as long as you are a licensed child care facility or licensed home, and you were operating as of May 1st of 2021, and as long as you are in good compliance with child care licensing, meaning you are not on corrective action, then you are eligible for funds. All right. So whether you're for-profit, nonprofit, doesn't matter. Whether you participate in the subsidy system, don't participate in the subsidy system, doesn't matter. Whether you're part of Texas Rising Star, not part of Texas Rising Star, doesn't matter. All right. Were you operating as of May 1st of 2021? Are you in good standing with child care regulations, meaning you're not on corrective action? Those would be the 2 things that would make you ineligible, all right? Now, I know of some programs that receive significant property damage due to the snowstorms back in February, and they are still closed due to the property damage that they received, and so therefore they're not open, and they weren't open on May 1st. That made them ineligible, all right? I don't know what to say, with that right there. Definitely you can try to appeal it if that is your situation. I know of a couple of different people that are in that situation. I do know that that's happening out there. Surely, I can't guarantee this, surely they're going to take that into consideration, that you being closed due to the snowstorm was not due to anything with you, but it is what it is. All right. So there you go. Hopefully that answers some of the questions right there. All right. As long as you are using the funds for the appropriate reasons, it shouldn't have to be paid back. That's what we're being told right now. I got an email from someone just this morning. I'm very concerned that at some point they're going to have to pay this back. Based on the terms and conditions, based on all of the information that we've received so far, as long as you are using the funds for the appropriate reasons, all right, you shouldn't have to pay it back. And we're going to talk about all of that in this webinar. All right. So May 1st, 2021, you have to be open, and it can't be on corrective action with child care licensing. Now, basically what they're doing is they're looking at your license capacity, which is good, not your current enrollment. They're looking at your license capacity. That's pretty awesome. They're looking at your license capacity. They're looking at the county that you are working in or you're operating in, your zip code, and they're determining the cost of operation, and they're going to distribute funds based on that. So if you have a large program, you have a large capacity, all right, you're in good shape. Heather, I just answered that question at the beginning of the webinar. Whether you're for-profit, nonprofit, doesn't matter. If you're in a church, doesn't matter. As long as you are a licensed childcare facility or licensed home operating as of May 1st, 2021, and you're not on corrective action with childcare licensing, y'all are eligible, all right? If you are a Texas Rising Star program, okay, if you're a 4-star program, you get an additional 38% on your reimbursement. Y'all, that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. If you're a 3-star program, you get an additional 25%. 2-star program, additional 13%. If you don't participate in Texas Rising Star, then you're going to get the reimbursement based on your area and your license capacity. But again, those of you that are participating in Texas Rising Star, this is amazing money. All right, really good right there. If you are nationally accredited, all right, by a recognized accreditation source, and that is listed on their website on what the accrediting bodies are, then also, that'll put you at that 2-star reimbursement of the 13%. Okay, so that's pretty good stuff right there. The big question is, what can these funds be used for? All right. And here is another amazing piece to this. You get to use your funds from January 1st, 2021 to August 31st, 2021. All right. Ember is asking if you're part of a church, and I can't see all of your questions because it's a long, oh, there it goes. No, it has to be used for the license program. It cannot be distributed to other parts of the operation of the church. It has to be specifically used for the operation of the child care program only. That's a really good question, Ember. So it has to be allocated and spent directly on the licensed child care program. All right, good question. All right, so basically allowable expenses are rent, mortgage, insurance, general liability insurance. We're going to talk about this here in a little bit too. Utilities, payroll cost, personal protection equipment, cleaning supplies and cleaning services, maintenance and supplies. All right. So that's what this money can be used for from January 1st, 2021 to August 31st, 2021. I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all this, okay? I created a spreadsheet because y'all know me, I'm a spreadsheet junkie. And I started with these expenses right here: rent, mortgage, insurance, utilities, payroll costs, personal protection equipment, cleaning supplies and services, maintenance and supplies. And I started putting all of my expenses from January 1st to current on my spreadsheet. I've already spent my money. All right. So, I'll basically be reimbursing myself for the money that's already been spent, which is good because now I can get that money and use it towards other things like staffing and payroll cost. And we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit as well. All right. And I don't mind sharing my little spreadsheet with y'all if y'all want. It's nothing fancy at all. Okay. It's nothing spectacular. It's just an Excel spreadsheet. All right, so that's what you can use your expenses for, and this is on your worksheet. So if you want me to say it again, you can use this money for rent or mortgage, insurance, utilities, payroll cost, payroll taxes, I forgot that, personal protection equipment, cleaning supplies and services, and maintenance to your building. All right, so that's what we can use this for, okay? Courtney, I see that you're having a major staffing crisis. If you came in late, we're going to talk about that towards the end of the webinar. We're kind of layering this step by step. So that's you're not alone, okay? We're all in this. So, apply for the funds. The application was so quick and easy. All right. Took me just a couple of minutes for each school. For those of you that have already done this, as of Monday, and some people told me Friday of last week, then the funds are now approved and you can request your funds. I've already requested all of my funding for all of my schools, and so we're just waiting on the checks. If you're having a difficult time applying, reach out to one of the workforce coaches. All right, it's pretty simple. You're going to use your permit number, and that's it. All of the data is already preloaded. As soon as you enter your permit number, it does all the math and all the calculations for you. So easy. All right. So, there you go. So, whenever you get it, read the terms and conditions. They're very simple. All right. They're not very detailed. They are going to tell you that you have to retain your financial records for 3 years. So that's important, and that's a worksheet question for you right there. 3 years, you have to maintain your financial records on what you spent the money on. Y'all, that's going to be easy. All right. Payroll costs, your rent or mortgages, your utilities, keep a copy of those utility bills, receipts on your personal protection equipment and your maintenance supplies. There you go. All right. Mariah is asking on payroll expenses, does it include possible bonuses for your staff? I'm going to refer you to your own personnel policies and what type of bonus structures do you already have in place. If you start creating new bonus programs after this funding has been received, I think you're going to have a problem with that. If you have a current bonus program that's already been established and in place, you should be in good place. All right. But don't start creating, new things out there. But we're going to talk about increases in salary in just a little bit as well. All right. So, so Peggy, on yours, I would just reach out to one of your workforce coaches. It sounds like there's a technical error on that. All right, so that's what I've got to say about the child care relief funding. And so, you get to use those funds for those expenses. And this is a great opportunity for us to do some additional things within our program that many of you have probably always wanted to do. All right. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and this is going to be a very quick conversation because I want to get to the really good stuff out here. And that is the child tax credit in 2021. Coming up on July 15th, so here next week, the last date to apply for the child care relief funding is the end of this month. They did extend the deadline, all right? So you might want to go to the website and just double check on that, but they did extend it till the end of this month. On the child tax credit, on July 15th, they basically are increasing the child tax credit to $3,600 per child. So basically, families that have children under the age of 17 will be getting additional child tax credit. What is going to be different on this than previous years is they did up the dollar amount, but they're also going to be giving advanced child care credits. So half of the child care credits that families can claim on their income tax is going to be given to them in advance, okay? Half of it. So basically for children, families with children under the age of 6, which are the families we serve, they're going to be getting $300 per child that's going to be mailed to them or direct deposited towards them, all right? Now, with that being said, the purpose behind the child tax credit is to support families with child-related expenses. This additional $300 per child that's going to be mailed to them is not for them to go out and buy TVs and new cars and go on a shopping spree for themselves. The purpose behind the child tax credit is to support families with expenses based on their child. Child care would be an expense for the child. Okay, so this $300 that families are going to be getting per child is to help them with child care expenses. All right. or the cost of raising their child. Now, I'm telling you this for a reason, all right? Many of you would agree with me that the cost of operating our businesses has gone up dramatically over the last 18 months. Once again, spreadsheet junkie, all right? I've been just closing out my second quarter of 2021 with my books, so we're halfway through the year. And I've been spending some time over the last 2 weeks comparing my operating costs for first and second quarter of 2021. And I keep defaulting back to January 2020. That's kind of like my pivotal date right there, January 2020, because that's what we were operating at before the world fell apart with the pandemic. So going back to 2019 data and then January 2020 data, my food and milk has gone up almost 1% across the board. All right, that's a lot of money. I know 1% doesn't sound like a lot. It is. My consumable supplies, all right, so my paper products, my cleaning supplies, all of those items, disposable supplies, since we've had to do away with family style meal service during the pandemic. We can do it now. We're back to that. But I've gone up almost 1.5% just on consumable supplies. Again, that's a lot of money. All right. Utility costs have gone up. Staffing costs have gone up, and we're going to talk about that more in just a minute. I don't know how many of you have renewed your general liability insurance since February of 2021. If you have not renewed your general liability insurance yet this year, you're in for a surprise, all right? We're seeing childcare programs that are having up to a 20% increase in their general liability. Mind-blowing. Between the pandemic, which makes no sense to me because no insurance company paid out any claims due to loss of business during the pandemic, but they're telling you that the cost of insurance is going up due to the pandemic. Makes no sense to me. But with the snowstorm that many of us dealt with here in the state of Texas, most businesses had larger insurance claims than the premiums that were paid. Therefore, our premiums are going up. All right. So, there's a lot of factors that are going on right here. I've been telling y'all for a year now, it feels like, that if you have not done a cost of care analysis on your program, especially now that we tend to be getting back into a more normal type situation with the pandemic and everything, y'all need to do a cost of care analysis and figure out how much is it costing you to care for each child in your program. I've got a webinar on this. If you go to my website, timthetrainer.com, I've got a webinar that will take you step by step through a cost of care. I have a worksheet, a spreadsheet on my website that you can download. Go to documents that will help you with your cost of care. You need to do this because the cost of operating our businesses has gone up dramatically, all right, with everything that we've gone through over the last 18 months. You need to increase your tuition. Listen to me. You need to increase your tuition. We are not collecting enough money to pay our bills. Bottom line, we're just going to be blunt and honest right here. Now, don't feel bad about this. Don't feel bad about increasing your tuition. Your families that you're serving are about to get $300 a month per child and child tax credits to help them with this. Y'all see what I'm saying? All right. And because the federal government was aware that this was going on, they recognized the struggles that we were having operating our licensed childcare programs while maintaining quality. All right. So they're on top of it. So don't feel bad about increasing your tuition rates. Okay. The numbers don't lie, and here are the numbers. All right. And if you haven't renewed your insurance yet this year, I'll meet you at the bar and we'll have a drink after you get your quote because you're going to freak out. All right. So with that being said, let's talk about the current staffing crisis that we're in. Oh, Vicky, very good question right here. The extra $300 a month is going to be between July 15th and the end of the year. So it's going until the end of 2021. Now, that's only half of the child tax credit. They will get to claim the other half on their 2021 income tax return. All right. They're just getting half of it advance, and that's where the $300 comes from. It's actually $600 a month per child, but half of it they're getting in advance, half of it they get to claim on their income tax. There is talk of possible legislation to extend this past 2021. But as of right now, July 9th, 2021, it is scheduled to go until the end of the year. I pulled up multiple articles yesterday and it talked about the legislation to extend it very, very likely. All right. So there you go. All right. So staffing. Many of you have experienced significant staffing shortages, something that is unprecedented in our industry. I've been doing this since 1987, and we've always struggled with staffing type issues. Nothing has ever compared to what we've been through this year. For the very first time in my career, I had to put a pause on enrollment because I didn't have enough staff to care for the children that we currently had. All right. It was some bad stuff right there. Now, my core staff, my staff that's been with me for many, many years, bless them. Okay. They have been amazing. They have stuck in there. They have worked extra long hours to keep the program afloat. I just have so much gratitude for these individuals. It was filling in the gaps that was hard. All right. And we were competing with unemployment. Now, here in Texas, the extended unemployment has ended now. All right. So, Kara, pause. I'm going to get to that. Okay. She's like, get to the good stuff. Get to the point. All right. So anyways, we were dealing with the unemployment where, people were sitting at home making $17 an hour, sitting at home and collecting unemployment. And y'all know y'all can't be mad at them. Y'all can't judge them and be mad at them. All right. Because, if you had the opportunity to sit at home making $17 an hour, you'd probably do it too. And, what I keep telling business owners is that you've probably collected your PPP money, probably twice, your PPP round 2. You've gotten your EID loans, and now we're getting child care relief money. So, we're getting our free money. They're getting their free money. You can't be too mad at them. All right. Now, the difference is that we were working. All right. So that's where the difference comes in. So, but basically what this came down to back in May is that we've got to find some way to compete with unemployment. All right. We got to make it to where they want to work for us and they need to work for us. We've got to get it to a point where they can't afford to lose their job. All right. Y'all, I look at this as a great opportunity to raise the bar. We have whined and complained for 20 plus years that childcare providers are underpaid and overworked and underappreciated. Okay. Now, during the pandemic, we received a lot of that recognition. We received a lot of the praise and a lot of the affirmation. That feels good. Okay. Now it's time for us, the operators, to step it up. Okay. We keep waiting for the federal government or for Texas Workforce Commission or for some other agency to come in and raise our wages. Y'all, we got to take the bull by the horns and we've got to take care of this ourselves. All right. We have to create a situation where not only the passion and the purpose is there, that they're passionate about being in the classroom with our children, but they are compensated fairly and equally for what they do. We've got to take control of this. We have the perfect opportunity right now to do it. All right. We need to look at how can we increase staff wages. All right. And continue to operate a high quality program. Well, it's going to take an increase in tuition. All right. It's going to take some smart management and some good financial planning. Now, with the child care relief money, okay, what we talked about earlier in this webinar is we're able to start claiming expenses from January 1st, 2021 till the end of August. Most of these expenses you've already paid out. So the money that you're going to be getting from the child care relief funding is to reimburse you for those expenses that you've already incurred, okay, or accrued. Sorry. You've got a great opportunity right now to do what you've always wanted to do. Pay your people what they're worth. All right? So you're going to determine based on your market how much of an increase do you need to do, and based on your market and your cost of care, how much do you need to increase your tuition to cover it? And you're going to be able to use this child care relief money as a cushion, as seed money, all right, to invest in your staff. That's what we've got to do, all right? I will go ahead and tell you what I've done. I don't mind sharing with y'all. And we did this at the beginning of June, end of May, beginning of June, and it's been wonderful, y'all. It's been absolutely wonderful. We gave all of our employees a $2.50 an hour increase across the board. That's $100 a week, all right, for a full-time employee, someone working 40 hours with you. I had teachers in tears, absolutely in tears, over the increase in their salary. I went up 3% on my current families. So the families that are already enrolled with us, they received a 3% increase across the board. And then new families coming in, so families that we are enrolling right now, we did an 8% increase on tuition. All right, so we do have a couple of different tuition structures out there. That's totally okay. All right. And we haven't had any parents bat an eye at it. We were very open and honest and said that we are going up on tuition to increase teacher salaries. And they have been very, very open. And remember, they're getting a $300 tax credit per child to help pay for this. All right. So again, we have some wonderful opportunities to take care of our staff. All right. So 3% for current families, 8% for new families coming in, did a $2.50 increase across the board. Knock on some serious wood. I have hired 42 new employees in the last 6 weeks. And not only have I hired 42 new employees in the last 6 weeks, they have been very high quality, passionate, determined individuals. The people that we are attracting are worth what we're paying them. So that has been incredible for you right there. Yes, 8% is what I went up on my market rate. I'm sure I'd be happy to share the letter I sent out to parents. Just shoot me an email, tim@timthetrainer.com, and I'll be happy to share it, and you can tweak it up. It's very simple, but there you go. So there you go. But I'll tell y'all, I was surprised at the applicants that we are getting and the people that we are hiring. We're not getting applicants that have been sitting at home for the last year and a half. We're getting people that are having to give their notices at other places. People that have been working through all of this. Everyone that we have hired appears to be really awesome. And I've been very impressed with them so far. And word is getting out. All right. Word is getting out. And that's awesome right there too. You know, I've always said this, that staffing is a lot like buying a pair of shoes. You get what you pay for. All right. So there you go. Tasha, that's fantastic about CDA. I'm a huge advocate for CDA. We do the same thing in our programs. We have an incentive for them to earn their CDA and to make more money. So anything we can do. If you are part of Texas Rising Star, check with your local workforce board. Some of the workforce boards have some initiatives in place right now to help pay for CDA and associate's degrees for further education. It's not statewide, so you need to check with your local workforce board on that. All right. How do I present this to my bosses without them getting upset about the increase? You go in with all your data and do a full presentation with passion and purpose. All right. But have your data ready and be able to show them the result that you're going to get, rather than just throwing out money right there. Again, my whole purpose behind doing this today and having this webinar is, number one, I was very, very shocked at the number that was expressed to me that only 20% of licensed childcare facilities have applied for their funding. Why aren't y'all applying? Come on, get that money. All right, so I wanted to make sure everyone was aware that the money was out there, how easy it is to apply, and what the stipulations were behind it. I also wanted to make sure that you were aware of the child tax credit and the purpose behind that child tax credit. It is a perfect time for you to increase your tuition if you feel need be, if you feel like you need to do it, all right, because they're anticipating this. And I wanted to address the staffing crisis that we're having. We have to make this a career and not a job. And we have to attract the right people. All right. Oh, yes, Michelle. I did not have that on my list. Good job. High five to you, Michelle. Those of you that participate in the CACFP food program, we also have some additional money coming from them as well. So that's exciting. Be on the lookout for that. Contact your sponsor or CACFP if you want information on that. Yes, nonprofits. This will be the third time I've said this in this webinar. Nonprofits, you can apply. You are eligible for this funding. There you go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sometimes, when you get a little bitty increase, it is a slap in the face. I have to agree with that. Okay, I'm just kind of reading through some of the comments that are coming in. All right. So, but again, use some of these opportunities right now as an opportunity to beef up your program. Now, I didn't finish what I was saying earlier. With this being said, giving our staff an increase across the board, raising our salary matrix so the people that we're hiring in at higher rates, all right? Because that was the whole thing with this, is that when I was looking at this back in May, yes, we need to increase what we're hiring people in at. We need to increase our matrix, but we got to keep it fair. If we're going to increase our matrix, we need to increase the people that have been dedicated and passionate to us, for the last however many years. So it has to go both ways. And I'm a big advocate for that. It has to go both ways. Take care of your current people as well as the new people coming in. Now, with that being said, if I'm going to be paying more money, I'm going to expect more. And we're going to raise the expectation. And we're going to hold people accountable. Now, hocus pocus, time to focus, folks. These people that call in sick once a week, these people that are constantly late and not coming to work on time, these people that are not performing and meeting the expectation, these people that are stirring the pot and causing drama, they got to go. Because now you got a whole line of people wanting to come to work for you. All right. And all this garbage that you've been dealing with, that you have been allowing into your program, it's time for it to go. And we got to focus on the kids and we got to focus on the classroom. People that are not in it to win it got to go somewhere else. Because when we start paying them what they're worth, then we're going to attract good quality people that are focused on the kids in the classroom. So if I'm going to start paying $2.50 more an hour, you're going to be held accountable. All right. And then when I have to terminate you for not meeting expectations and being insubordinate, then you're not going to get nothing. And you're not going to be able to file for unemployment and get extended benefits because you were terminated due to performance-related issues. All right. So there you go. I see a question about training individuals about opening their own facilities. Check out my website, timthetrainer.com. I have a 4-day director credentialing course. That would be a perfect class for you to take for someone that is wanting to jump in there. I am so happy to see all of you agreeing with me and the little hands clapping right there. But guys, it is time for us to step it up. And that's what we have in front of us right now is we have the opportunity to step it up. All right? Raise the stakes. And then we can get back to quality. We can get back to meeting the needs of the children. All right? Servicing the community the way we should be servicing it. And have passionate and dedicated people on our teams. Don't deny this amazing opportunity that we have in front of us right now. And that's what we've got. All right. So I got a little passionate there for a minute. But I'm just excited about this great opportunity to increase the leverage that we have in this community and with this industry. It's pretty awesome right there. Jessica, yes, you can definitely take the class and you can get clock hours for it instead of the credential. So I have probably half of my participants that take my 4-day class are there just for the knowledge and for the hours rather than for the credential. Only about half of them are there for the credential. So check it out. And I have a class coming up at the beginning of August, so you can look at that. All right, so we are gearing back up for back to school season. I did take a little bit of time off on the training side of the business just to focus on my own schools, and then it was conference season and blah, 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 blah. But we are back on track now. I have Tim at 10 webinars scheduled for the month of August. So if you go to my website, timthetrainer.com, you can see those dates. I also have weekend mini conferences. We're going to continue doing those on Facebook Live for now. But I have those dates on my website as well. And of course, Director Credential course is scheduled till the end of the year. We will continue doing that hybrid, both in person and virtual, until the end of the year. We just made that decision as well. All right. So there you go. Let's get our building staffed back up. Let's get good quality people in there. Let's provide quality care and education for our children. And let's start moving forward. And we've got a great opportunity to do that right now. Everyone, thank you for joining me today. Stay safe. Stay healthy. We're not out of the woods yet. This pandemic is not over with. So we still need to be following enhanced health practices. We still need to be making safe and healthy choices. But we've got this, all right? And it's time to move forward. We're going to leap forward. Your worksheet is already posted on Facebook. Like I said earlier, oops, I made a mistake and I scheduled that to post at 9:30 instead of 10:30. So it's already on Facebook. Just refresh your browser and you can find those links right there. This webinar was recorded, and so I will have this posted on our website later on today. You can also always find it on Facebook if you want to go back and watch any part of it. Once again, if you have any very specific questions about the Child Care Relief Funds, contact the workforce coaches. They have been very good and very quick to respond. If you have any questions about your taxes, contact your CPA or your accountant. And they will be able to guide you on that part of it. Otherwise, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. If you need any additional coaching or guidance, I'm always here for you. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today, and I will see all of you very, very soon. Bye.